The Children in Care Council, or CICC, created this DVD for children coming into care. The CICC are a group of children and young people who are in care, who meet regularly to discuss the matters about being in care. They make sure your views are heard and make a difference for others in care. Members of the CICC are involved in the decision-making processes that Halton Borough Council make about all the services provided for children in care. The DVD was a project that the Children in Care Council wanted to do, as members of the group said that it was a difficult time when they came into care. That when they came into care, they would have liked to have had information available to them to explain who was there to support them, and to show them that they were not alone in the care system. The stories in the DVD are based on real-life experiences and are played by actors.
Hi, my name is Mary Jane and I'm 12 years old. I was 10 years old when I first came into care. I remember my first day. My mum told me that I was going into care. She didn't say why. A social worker came with a policeman and I was taken to my foster carers. In the car, I was scared as I didn't know what was happening, but I also felt a little bit excited. When I met my carers, it was very exciting. They had a big house. My carers told me about themselves and their family. They were really nice. They asked me if I was hungry and gave me huge Sunday dinner. I was shown my room. There was a TV in the cupboard and I just sat there playing on my DS. I was really happy with my room. I found out from my community support worker why I went into care. My sisters were moved too, but they went to another carer. I was upset that they got moved somewhere different, and I missed them, even though they didn't know me when we lived in the same house. I've been in the same placement since I came into care. I'm really happy where I live. In my house now, I have 2 foster brothers. My foster carers get me involved in lots of different activities and sports. I'm even going to help out at a play scheme. They take us on holiday every year. I still get to see my family through contact once a month, and that suits me. I see my mum, dad, sisters, nan, and uncle. I go to a contact centre and we might go out for tea at the chippy shop or even go and play on the park. I get to see my sisters at different times. And I feel okay about not living with my mum and dad, as I really like my foster carers. I've lived there for so long now that they feel like a second family and I feel really safe. In my time in care, I have had 4 different social workers. I found this really annoying. I really like my social worker I have now. She's kind and helps me when I need her. I've been in the same school since I came into care, but before coming into care, I went to 4 different primary schools. I left the first one because of the teachers and the reputation of the school. The next 2 were just too far away. I sometimes like school. All of my teachers know I'm in care and sometimes treat me differently. All of my friends know I'm in care. I get help from the head of year in case I have any problems. I go to my personal education plan meetings, and these meetings look at how well I'm doing during school. I have a review meeting with my independent reviewing manager every year. What has helped me during my time in care is understanding life. I did my life story work with my community support worker, and this really helped me about understanding why I went into care. I get lots of help from my social worker, community support worker, IRM, my teachers at school, my friends, my foster family, my family and relatives. There is a lot of people there to make sure that you're okay. I also go to the Children in Care Council, as it helps me to show other children in care what it's like to be in care and what it's like for me. The things that are good are having your friends around you and meeting new people. I like my foster placement and carers. We get pocket money, birthday and Christmas presents, new clothing, and we are well looked after. The hardest thing in care is leaving contact with your family when the time is up, and that can be really upsetting.
Hi, I'm the Participation and Inclusion Officer for Halton Borough Council. My role is to hear the views of all children in care and care leavers from the Halton Borough, whether you live within the borough or out of area. My role is to make sure that you're involved in the decision-making process about the services that you receive and that your views are heard. In Halton, we have 3 groups. We have a Junior Children in Care Council for those who are 6 to 12 years of age. We have a Senior Children in Care Council, which are for those who are 13 plus, and we have a Care Leavers group. All 3 groups are involved in the decision-making process around the services that you receive, and they make a difference for all children in care. The Children in Care Council have been involved in a number of projects. They created the Pledge, which is a list of promises for all children in care and care leavers, which is taken very seriously by Halton Borough Council. They also created an information pack for when you come into care, which has a lot of information about who is there to support you and how you can make a compliment or a complaint. They also created a website, again with lots of information, which can be found at www.haltoncic.co.uk. Young people in care have said that there's not a lot to do. So the young people in the Children in Care Councils went out and managed to get some leisure passes for all children in care that live in Halton. This included gym passes for those who are 11 and over, and swimming passes for all foster families and for all children in care. The members of the Children in Care Council created a review tracker. The review tracker is to track the actions from your review. So when you meet with your social worker, your foster carer, your independent reviewing manager, and they create actions at the end, you can make sure that they've done what they say they would do. Other things that they get involved in are interviewing new members of staff. This could be social workers or managers. They also help to commission services. So some of the services that you receive, like the advocacy service, our young people have been involved in interviewing the organisations to decide who has that service. They have also been involved in training new members of staff, foster carers, designated teachers. We get involved in events on a local level, a regional level within the North West, and on a national level. This is so that your voices are heard by the most important people, such as government. If you have any questions or you want to get involved, then speak to your social worker or call me on 0151 511 6091 or email sarah.jones@halton.gov.uk.
Hi, I'm Ian. I work for Halton Virtual School along with colleague Min, and we're going to discuss what Halton School is. One of the new things when you come into care will be the PEPs. Would you like to explain what a PEP is?
So basically PEPs stands for Personal Education Plans, and all children in care have one of these plans, and it's basically a document and a meeting that evolves around each individual child. It's an overview of how you're doing in education, what your targets are, what things you need extra support on, and it's a discussion between the foster carers, the social workers and the designated teacher and any other staff who support you in school. And it's a way of seeing how you're doing, and it's your chance as well to talk about any things that you are worried about in education, and you can ask for extra support as well.
So what other support will you provide?
Well, there's a number of different things that we can do for children in care. In the past, we've done things like activity packs. We've also got a website that we're designing.
One of the things we do is go into the schools to sort out any issues with the teachers and designated teachers. And then we look at post-16, from leaving school you'll have to go and get a job. So we'll provide support with education, employment or training after you leave school. We run a programme at year 11 called Next Steps, in which we'll take you on different strands of education, employment and training to look at colleges and universities, different employers. We've been to Jaguar Land Rover and things like that, and we'll do training. We'll look at the training providers if you want to look at an apprenticeship. And from that, we'll hopefully support you into college, where you'll do PEPs up to you're 18. And then university, we'll carry on that support up to you're 25.
You mentioned a designated teacher before. Could you explain what that is?
Yeah, each school by law has to have a designated teacher, which is a senior teacher who's responsible for all looked after children in their school. Someone who we go to, we train, work with, and they'll help us look after our young people in their schools. Okay, we realise that's a lot to take in at this stage, so if you want any more information, you can contact me. My name's Ian Mountain. My email address is ian.mountain@halton.gov.uk, or you can contact me on my direct line, which is 0151 511 8488.
My name's Minling Lee. You can contact me on minling.lee@halton.gov.uk, or my landline is 0151 511 8341.
I was in the anger management lesson, and the lady from the office said I had to go to the office immediately. There was a social worker there, and people I've never met. I thought they must have got the wrong person. I was taken to the meeting room, which was at the municipal building. I got in the car with the social worker. I was quite scared, because I didn't know who the foster carers were. Luckily, I was comforted by my brother who was with me, but our oldest brother wasn't with us. It was the first time we'd been split up from our older brother. I was upset, angry and annoyed. The first thing we did when we arrived was look at our room, then went for tea. The foster carer's house was big, and my bedroom was awesome. It had lots of toys in it. There was a window seat in my room. It had boxes and boxes of Lego in it. A train set. I remember there was a remote control Thomas the Tank Engine. I shared that room with my brother. I thought my first foster family were alright. They had 2 sons, and one of them let us play on his PlayStation. Whenever me and my brother were together, we were always arguing, so in the end we just got split up. My brother was moved to a different foster family after we were there for about half a year. The foster carer's son helped me. He played cricket with me and took me to the local park. I was with this family for about 2.5 years. My new foster carers were kind. They had 2 sons, one who I thought was quite energetic and the other just stayed in his room. The carer's house is much bigger and my bedroom is amazing. It had a TV, a PlayStation and a DVD player. I have contact with my brothers every 3 months and we usually go out to different places. I also have contact with my mum and dad, but it always changes. Sometimes 3 times a year, sometimes 4 or 5 times a year. On the first day back in school, after I had been taken into care, everybody was asking why I'd been taken out of school early. I just sat on the bench with my brother and didn't say anything about it. We weren't comfortable talking about it. Every time when I went into care, I had to move schools. I think that schools are supportive. It's good and I enjoy it. There are problems with being in care. There is another boy in my year who picked on me, as well as another boy in care. He sometimes physically grabbed us, and when we stuck up for ourselves, we got into trouble, but he never did. I always attend my PEP meetings. They tell me how I'm getting on at school. These meetings were always after school. I only see my social worker when I need to. My first social worker was funny, so when I got my new social worker, I found it a bit weird. He laughs at things I don't think are funny and tries to be funny but can't. I had another social worker who was also funny. I liked her, but she left, so I got my second social worker back. The review meetings are always at home, and I always go to them. I like them because I know what's happening.
Hi, I'm Sharon Canavan Daly. I've been a foster carer for almost 15 years. In that time, I've looked after children from 0 to technically 19. However, I still support 2 grown-ups of 23 and 25. They were my first long-term placements. I originally started fostering to do long-term placements because I thought I wouldn't be able to deal with children being adopted or going home. However, I've done everything in between since then. I've had little ones ready for adoption. I've had children who've gone home. I've actually also adopted a little girl of 8 years old. I'm still fostering, so I've got a 10-year-old at the moment plus the 8-year-old, and I still support the older girls. I support them in many ways through education, hobbies, being part of the further community, but also through continuing to be part of their own birth families, through contact and trips out and things like that, because it's very important to keep them with their own roots as well as the roots of a new family. I enjoy fostering a lot. It's quite challenging in many ways, but it's also very rewarding in a lot of ways. The most thing I enjoy is taking the children to new places and introducing them to new activities, like climbing and holidays and Disney World and tree trekking, anything that's new that they haven't done that they'd like to do. I enjoy taking them to things like that. Fostering hasn't only been a large change in my life for the better, it's also been a large change in my extended family's life, because they're all very much a part of the children's lives and they're a very good support network.
Hiya, my name's Angela Woolfall and I'm a foster carer for Halton Borough Council. My husband Frank and I have been fostering for just under 12 years. We have 2 boys that we've had since they were 5 and 7, and now they're currently 16 and 18. And we also care for babies 0 to 2 that either return to birth family or to move on to adopters. We absolutely love fostering. Fostering's our life. I'm actually the vice chair of our support group and we attend lots of different training. We've got a really good support network of foster carers in Halton, and we just love what we do. We love bringing children in, we love looking after children, supporting children. We do contact with the babies to birth family. We support children right through from the first arrive right through to supporting them through their education. Currently my 2 are 16 and 18. The eldest is in his 2nd year at college and the 16-year-old is in his 1st year at college. When you think when they first arrived they had issues around behaviour and they were constantly in trouble in school and really struggling with their education, and now they're just both absolutely thriving and it's just fabulous to see how they've come on.
When you come into care, you will meet a lot of new people who are there to help and support you. This could be your foster carer or support worker if you live in a residential setting, your social worker and your independent viewing manager. For education, employment or training support, there is a team called the Virtual School. Your social worker will make sure that you are safe and cared for. Your social worker will listen to you and make sure that you have what you need. They will make sure that you are doing well in education, that you can get contact with family members. They will also do statutory visits and see how you are doing, make sure that your care plan is working, review contact with family members. They also make sure you are healthy and have a dentist and optical appointments. Your social worker will also attend personal education plan meetings. These are also known as PEPs, and check that you are reaching your targets in education. Your Independent Reviewing Manager, or IRM for short, will organise your reviewing meetings. At these meetings, you, your carer and IRM will be there to talk about how you are feeling, things you may need or any issues you have. This is also a good opportunity for you to ask any questions about your care and make sure you know and understand what your care plan is and the reasons. The IRMs will ask you about what's going good and what's not so good and if anything needs changing. The IRM will make sure that the right plan is in place for you and that everyone is working together to provide the best care for you. You will have a review when you have been in care for 1 month, and then again at 3 months, and then every 6 months after that, or more often if you think you or others think it's needed. You may have a community support worker. Their job is to do life work with you. They may take you to your contact with family members. If you have other things going on in your life, they can help you out with direct work and help out with things such as self-esteem, identity, social skills, and also can help if there are any issues with your placement. Whilst you are living in care, there may be times when you need someone to help you stop, start, or change something, and you can ask for an advocate. An advocate is someone who will listen to what you have to say and are independent, and all the information you tell them is confidential. They have a very important job as they work for you and make sure that when the decisions are made about you, people listen to what you have to say. Advocates help children and young people with lots of different issues, such as placement moves, contact, making a complaint, or supporting you at your review meetings. Advocates will always listen to you, speak up for you, and help find out about your rights. NIAS provides independent visitors, or IV for short. An IV is an adult volunteer who will take you out to an activity of your choice once a month. An IV is someone who is independent and confidential, and they can talk to you and spend time with you away from your home. It is someone you can have fun with and try new things such as going to a football match, bike riding, and a trip to the theatre or to a concert. In Halton, NIAS are a charity that provides advocates and independent visitors for all children in care. If you feel that you would like an advocate or an IV, you can ask your social worker to contact NIAS, or you can call them direct on 0808 808 1001.